Let's go, you guys. Welcome back to NRL Fantasy Analysis. We're in here. Another great week for my team. Ever since round one, sitting at 12,000, we've improved every single week, which is really good to see. Haven't had any step backs at this point, and we're sitting here at 1557 overall, and another solid week, getting 1,052. So, great start of the week with Cleary, Turpin, and these types of guys, but obviously had a few downers this week, and we'll talk through them. But Joey Manu and Jamal Fogarty, in that middle part of the week on the Saturday, really hurt us, but had a great finish to the week with a couple of my trades doing really well, with Tohu Harris getting an 83 and also Simpkin coming in and actually playing him for 54 as well. So let's roll through the squad. Still only banked 2 trades for the year, and it'll be interesting to see what I have to do this week if Pap's going to play, because if he is, then I should be able to hold trades this week, and if not, then we might have a little bit of an issue, and we'll, depending on team list, we'll work out who might be a good option at that cheaper price there. But sitting there, I don't have wing fullback cover or centre cover at the moment, so it'd be nice if Tessie comes back, but there's a good chance that he doesn't, especially with how the Broncos played on the weekend. So Turpin up top with 55. We're still really happy with how he's going. Made just over 100k now, and we're really happy with that. We can't complain there. Welch with 55 again, as I said in the review show for his game, was just that he's not chasing people and screaming out of the line anymore, which has just dropped his missed tackle game, running the ball well, offloading as well. So I think he's really warmed up into the season, and I think he's someone I can definitely hold now until round 13. And that's, again, the benefit of waiting for some of these guys to see how they play out. He had a few good games and just had one really bad one. Whereas if you compare him to someone like Tino, he really didn't have any good games over the first 4, and then he has obviously his breakout one. But 4 games is enough to see if someone's going to be a consistent performer. Where Welch only had the one bad game, Tino had 3 with like a 45 in the other one. So I think that's a really good lesson to be learnt for some of these guys, is just letting him play out the first few games. You can see he was pretty gassed and wasn't completely ready for the new rules. So you can see he's warmed up into the season much better. Watson comes back, plays in the middle, gets 50 tackles, does really well. Again, another reason why you should make sure you're holding these guys after one bad round. Tohu, I was pretty lucky, obviously. Managed to pick him up for his highest score of the year and got a try, but he was a nice performer on Sunday for us. Angus Crichton with 38. A lot of people are really worried about his output, and yeah, okay, he got 38, but the 2 games before he got 70 and 67. So, and they didn't really play amazingly that game before, and he still did that. So, I wouldn't be worried about that. Obviously, the Roosters aren't playing as well, so their go forward isn't as good. Maybe you can't get the quicker play of the ball, get early ball and get across the advantage line there. But that's something that him and Teddy you can worry about a little bit. But in the grand scheme of things, they're both guns, have been for years, and will recover from a low game. They just got smashed on the weekend. You can't really do too much about that. Same with the Titans. They got smashed, so Fafita had to make all his own luck, and for him to have 16 tackles and still get 52 points, it's not a big worry. I've had a few people like, oh, do I pick up Fafita this week, or do I get Tohu? And every week before this has been like, we have to get Fafita in, and then now it's like, oh no, Tohu got 83, so I've got to pick him up first up over Fafita. So it's his lowest score of the year. Just be wary of that when you're trying to make these trades. Cleary with 124 as captain obviously means you're going to have an okay week, and Schuster in there with 42. So again, really happy with how he's playing. His actual footy's been solid, and good to see Manly actually doing well on the weekend, which will only benefit him if they're attacking more. He's that kind of player that will get some benefit out of that. So well done for him. Tommy Opacek was great for me with 44. Really happy with his performance so far, averaging 38, I believe, for the season. So, 38.2, and he's made just over 100k for me, and been someone I haven't had to worry about. And again, he's going to be someone that I think I'll definitely hold, as long as I can in our centres. If he, happens to score a few more tries and he could end up becoming a keeper, but I think he's probably just below that level at this stage. He's only had 1 game with tries at the moment. He's actually getting closer to Manu's price, which is crazy. So Manu with 13, and again, the whole Roosters team struggled, and Manu was someone that really, had probably one of the worst games you've seen from him in a while. Like his demerits were really high. He only ran the ball like 3 or 4 times. Like wasn't a lot in this game for him, and they still have a bunch of harder games over the next few weeks. But you'd imagine a Roosters team would bounce back pretty well after that bad loss on the weekend. So anyway, we hold on strong with him. He'll be fine. Pappenhausen with 53. As I said, there's a chance that he picked up an AC joint injury, and there's a chance that he might not play. I was also listening to was a physio Phil with the Talking League boys were saying that with those ones they can play through it, but it's like is it worth him just having a week or two off and getting it right before coming back and trying to play through it with injections and stuff like that through the year? We'll have to wait and see from team lists there as to what happens with that one, but something to think about if you own him and if you own Latrell as well. It looks like he's going to be having a stint on the sidelines, but Dane Laurie with 51, again, someone you can just keep holding, keep him going, keep making the cash, keep playing him in your team. And against the Bunnies, he was able to still score 51 and look like a really strong player, so keep him in your squads. And then Roger with 69, as I said, he's averaging 9 points higher than what I bought him at, and this is kind of what I expected, somewhere around that 50-odd average across the season. And again, some of these guys, they'll be up one week, down the next, and that's completely fine if their up days are really high ones. So well done to Roger there. Again, not someone that's going to be playing Origin, so it's a nice option through that period. When we go to the interchange bench, so did pretty much pick the best 4 players, and there's no chance I was playing Atoya Kamanu over Fogs. So happy with what I did there. Bradley with 60, up at 772k is crazy. Fogs at 570, so again, becoming a very good option for anyone who doesn't have him at this stage to possibly bring him in as being a cut price keeper. I'm a bit worried that he's now got a couple of 30s in his gameplay. Obviously, the injury affected game, but 30 and 60, 45 average doesn't excite me that much. But surely the Titans aren't going to get beat 35-0 or whatever it was every week. He should bounce back. Alvaro is 42. I'm glad I caught his score this week and still making some cash. And you see him and Uitukamanu 461 and 433k respectively, which is great. So if they can get anywhere up to around that 500 mark, then you're awesome candidates to go up and down in an upgrade downgrade scenario with those two guys eventually. But I think at this stage you can just hold them until the buy period, as I've been speaking about each week. Simpkin with the Tigers playing round 13 as well, if he can maintain that the whole way, you can either become a 50-point average player, possibly. He obviously has to make a lot of tackles each week, but at least you're carrying through that period, and you can use him to score in that period, but also make you a lot of cash. So I think he's a really cool option this week. Obviously, unless the Tigers make any changes in their squads, but him and Uitukamanu doing really well there with 39. So happy with those guys. Didn't play him, but I was trying to work out if I picked Alvaro over Stefano, and won by 3 points there, but not a big issue. Walker was someone I didn't expect to score really well this week, and obviously the whole Roosters team didn't, but I was happy that I left him on the interchange, on the emergency, sorry, and still made a bit of cash. He's at 337, and gets a few more better scores again, and he'll be bumping up those price rises going from there. Spencer's our big worry. He actually lost money this week, and 18 points in 20 minutes is just not enough. As I said, we kept waiting, and we're going to keep waiting until there's possibly an injury, which just keeps happening, that they get through every game unscathed somehow. But for him, if you really need to upgrade him, you can. But I think he's also a hold. Tessie's more the worry now. How long do we hold Tessie? At 361k, you could use him to downgrade to a cash cow. But for me, it's probably more about having some cover. Hampton comes up as an option, but I really don't want to do it. But there you go, guys. That's the team at the moment. Sitting really well in the overall rank. I'm really happy with how I've ended up after the first 6 weeks, after that pretty bad first or second week. But heading in the right direction, guys. And if you're enjoying these kind of updates on my team, please hit like, hit subscribe. I really appreciate that. And we'll move over to the alternates team, who had an absolute shocker. Whew. Overall rank now of 7,088. The alternates were 1,800. 1,800 to 7,000. What did it give me a score of? What are we talking about? 891. Jesus. Thank God I got 122k in the bank remaining. But it's just a game when you don't have Cleary and he gets 120, that becomes a real issue when you captain for Feeder for 52. It's a 72-point difference. Wow. Anyway, what else can we say with that one? We lost out there, but all the other weeks we kind of got away with it without having Cleary. But this week it really hurt us, and having a bunch of guys like Brooks go 20 under their average. Rapana and Mom really good. Brought in To'o, he did great. Teddy went really down obviously from where he's been at. And I can't complain from interchange, 60, 54, 56, and 51. So really just the big loss is in the Cleary effort. And then not having someone like Tohu in that middle position hurts. When he gets about 30 extra than someone like McCulloch, for example. But yeah, the team where it's at the moment, 12 was a little bit less. What do we need? Well, I think we need another strong. You can say another strong mid, but how often do I want to play Stefano in there? That's going to be the question. Brooks probably has to go very soon. He's just not cutting the mustard. I said that To'o was my plan this week, and then Moses was going to be possibly next week, and they both pretty much scored the same amount, 76 and 72, I believe. So Moses is going to be a fairly decent option this week. I do have 120k remaining, and great that in this team at least I'm holding Avarillo. So if I have Mom out suspended, which is a chance, I could play Avarillo in there. But someone like Tessie might have to go, and also Brooks. And I suppose there's a few things I can do there. Like Teddy's the other one that a lot of people are tempted to move on this week, and I think that's a mistake. For him, he has up and down years. There's weeks where he goes 40, 40, 50, which makes him lose a bit of cash, and then he gets 100, and he hasn't had the 100 yet. And I'd expect that to come fairly soon. Like for Roosters to do well, I think it just means he has to be more involved. I understand that when they're firing and doing well, he's going to be involved in a bit, like just naturally from them doing well. But when they're not, I think it's obviously going to be up to their forwards to go forward and do well there, and he can play on the back of that. But I just feel like in this scenario, he's going to have to get his hands on the ball more and do really well. Like they talk about what the situation was like when he was back at the Tigers, but in that situation there, he just had to have the ball in his hands so much, and that's the reason why he scored so well back then. So I think this game, obviously he's coming off 2 lower games in a row, but this game especially, they just got beat in all facets of the game. So following on from here, I'm expecting a better game from him and a better bunch of weeks. So yeah, I think Brooks and Tessie are kind of the blokes on the chopping block. I could just go Brooks straight to Moses, which would be a decent option. But also, just worried about the mid spot and having to play Stefano. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about regarding this team. Obviously, a bit of a tough week and drop back to 7,000 ranking. So yeah, let me know what you think on that one, guys. But yeah, it's kind of just a mixture of all right, guys going okay. So yeah, that's all I've got to say on that one, guys. Obviously, got a couple extra trades in this one. I've banked the 4 so far, so happy with that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you in the next video.